Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nigma, and I'm bringing you guys some Diablo 3. So, I ended up actually not uploading that Stalker gameplay because the audio level was just terrible. So, hopefully the audio for this video is better because nobody can hear me half the time. So, I was excited for Diablo 3, and I'm still excited for Diablo 3. I'm looking forward to the game being released May 15th. I didn't get into the beta, so I am now in the open beta, which basically anybody can log into. So if you're watching this video and it's not Monday yet, you can still log in and play if you have a Battle.net account. So I'm going to be playing the Wizard today, and I'm only going to be doing the last little quest here. I've already beaten the beta several times, so I'm not at the level cap. I'm not sure what the level cap is. I think it was like 13 or something, but I am currently level 9. So I could still theoretically grind and level up, but like, I don't know, it's not, like, the problem with this beta is that it's really short. Like, you can beat the beta in, like, 20 minutes. No, not 20 minutes, what am I saying? Maybe if you're really fast, you can beat it in 20 minutes. You can beat the beta in about 1-2 hours. Like, it's really, like, if you just kind of plow through it, and like, if you played Diablo 2 before, like, you can beat the beta in like an hour or two. It really is that short. So there's not much to say. A lot of people have already beaten it and whatnot. So there's a lot of videos out already. So I'm just going to sort of give my impression of Diablo 3, because the game has had a lot of critique. So from what I've been reading. I guess I also read a lot of stuff from people who are very critical of games. I'm really looking forward to Diablo 3, and I still am. But the problem is you can't really review Diablo 3 in its current beta form, obviously, because it's only like an hour of gameplay. And so a lot of the stuff that people describe as like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, it's like you can't really talk about it because it's not, you know, it's like Act 1 in Diablo 2, if you've played Diablo 2. Like, for example, the difficulty, like, you can't say Diablo 3 is too easy yet because you're only in like Act 1, the first couple quests, so it's like you can't say it's too easy because you don't know what's ahead of you. So far the game is fairly easy. I only really got in trouble once playing this game where I went to a new zone and there was like this really fast boss mob, and that was challenging. But everything else is really like the end boss, King Lyric. Quite easy with every class, probably. I've only played Barbarian and Wizard. I am playing the Wizard right now, which is the ranged DPS class. Back when I played World of Warcraft, I played a mage, so I am quite familiar with the glass cannon way of doing things. It's one of my favorite sort of class to play in whatever game I'm playing. So I'm going to try to give you guys my sort of Diablo 2 comparison, Diablo 3 evaluation as best as I can. I played Diablo 2 back when I was a young lad, and I was really into Diablo 2. Like, it's one of my favorite games. Still sort of one of my favorite games. You can always just go and like start playing it again. But like, I think a lot of people who play Diablo 2, like, they don't like Diablo 3 for some reasons. Like, they say they don't like how the game is casualized. So that's sort of like the topic of Diablo 3. A lot of people say it's casualized. So my opinion on this varies depending on what we're talking about. So the first thing a lot of people don't like about Diablo 3, like, or they're skeptical of, perhaps, is the rune system, like the skill system. So in Diablo 2, you had, you know, skill trees with skills that you could learn and then improve by putting more points into them. And you know, at the time it was cool. Like, you were like, oh, cool, you know, I got 3 different trees. It's like a lot of spells. It felt like there was a lot of customization in Diablo 2. So I get what people are saying when they're like skeptical of not having this sort of specialization. But, you know, if you sit down and you think about it, skill trees in Diablo 2 were crappy. Like, when the game came out, like, I'm talking about when the game came out, like retail, not like Diablo 2 3.0 revamp with spell synergies and stuff. Because, I mean, you gotta judge the game of, you know, how it was when it came out, not like a long time. And let's face it, Diablo 2 3.0 came out like a long... And by that time I wasn't playing anymore, so... I'm going to be talking about the Diablo 2 that I remember when it came out, and I have to say the spell trees, the skill trees are pretty crap in Diablo 2. Like, I didn't like the fact that, first of all, I didn't like the fact that you couldn't respec at the time, and I just didn't like the way that like you were forced into like these skills. Like, as you know, you're a sorceress, and like you could think like, okay, what spells am I going to learn? It's like, well, I'm going to get Frozen Orb. And based off what I've heard from other people, this is like the viable skill for sorceress that I'm going to be spamming all game. So I might as well dump all my points in the Frozen Orb. So basically you'd hit 30 and you would stop learning skills, more or less, and you'd just like dump all your points into one skill until you have like the maximum amount of skill points into the skill that you could get without items, so which is 20, I think. So you'd have like, you have to like, once you hit 30, it was basically 20 levels of just putting points into Frozen Orb. It's like, I thought that was boring and stupid. Like, I mean, I didn't think that back when I played, but like in retrospect, it's kind of, I don't know. I didn't like that aspect of it. People say you could customize your character in Diablo 2, but like, I don't really buy it. Like, you could, but there was always that like one viable build, the cookie cutter build that everybody did. And like, if you didn't do it, then you were just kind of like not viable. I guess since it is PvE and not PvP in Diablo 2, there's more leniency towards like your build is less, you know, viable than the others. Because like, you know, after a while, once you can beat hell by yourself, like it doesn't really matter what build you are, I guess. But like, I don't know, I just didn't like the system. So basically, Diablo 2 had a very unlenient system. You'd have skill trees and basically, you know, pick whatever skills you want, and then yada yada yada, you put so many points into them. Diablo 3 is like the opposite, sort of. Like, every character has the same skills, but you have runes, which lets you customize the skills. Every skill that you have has five different runes, excuse me, 5 different runes. And each of the runes change the skill in a certain way. So, let's see. Like, for example, Magic Missile is my signature, like one of my standard spells that shoots just like a projectile. So, you can have, for example, increases the damage that it does, or fires 3 missiles that deal half the damage. Missiles can penetrate the enemies. Whenever the missiles hit, you gain arcane power, which is like mana. And missiles track the nearest enemy, and their damage is increased. So, like, if you look at this level of customization in this game, like, people say you can't customize as much as you could in Diablo 2, but I disagree completely. Like look at all these skills. Like, you have, let's just count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Did I already go through these? 2, 3, 24, 25. So it's like 25 skills times 5. So you've got like a lot of skills. Like, I don't get why people think like the customization is up. And that's not even including like passive skills, which I haven't unlocked, so I'm scrubbing on level 9 on this character. I got it on my barb already. But then you got like, you know, passive skills, which you can choose like some of. So like, I feel like the level of customization is quite good in Diablo 3. What I don't like so much, and I was sort of side towards the Diablo 2 people, or somewhere in between perhaps, is the fact that you can interchange these abilities whenever you want. So like, if I'm in a dungeon, I can just like change. So right now I'm using Diamond Skin, which is basically a shield that allows me to absorb damage. But if I want to interchange this with, for example, Frost Nova, all I have to do is wait till it's off cooldown, select it, and now it's on cooldown for a few seconds, and then I can use it. So it kind of reminds me of like World of Warcraft back when talents like couldn't be changed, or could be only changed very it was very hard to change talents. Like, they'd put a very high gold price on it, like back in vanilla World of Warcraft. So like, I think Blizzard, like, they're always trying to like decide how much how difficult they want it to let you sort of respec your build. So it presents a challenge because you either make it too easy to the fact that everybody can respec all the time, or practically there's no respecing because you can just always be everything, which sort of is convenient for the player, but it's also kind of lame because everybody is basically like the same character, like there's no customization. Like that's how the people argue. And then you could go to the other extreme, like Diablo 2, no respecing, this is your final talent tree, you do whatever. So if you have something like that, then you have sort of the opposite problem of like, okay, I'm a unique snowflake now perhaps, but I really fucked up my build and I'd kind of like to change it. It's like, well, okay, you're out of luck. Can't respec, ever deal with it. So I don't like either of those approaches. I kind of wish they had done something in between. Like, I think maybe what I would do is make it so you can only respec if you're in town. I thought I read that they were going to do that. Like, change your skills while you're in town or change your runes. But I guess they didn't do that. Maybe they're still going to do that. I don't know. I feel like right now it's like a little bit too much freedom. Like, I can just do whatever I want. Chandelier. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, so much for that. Another thing that a lot of people say they don't like about Diablo 3 in terms of being able to customize your character is you can't spend your attribute points. In Diablo 3, you had attributes. Sorry, in Diablo 2 you had attributes. Same way you do in Diablo 3, sort of. Like strength, dexterity, vitality, energy, basically increased your health, your mana, your stamina, which thank God they removed. I don't think anybody wants stamina back in this game. I mean, I couldn't think of why. Oh, I just realized I don't have diamond armor on anymore. Well, now in Diablo 3, you automatically just get attribute points when you level up. So you get stronger by leveling up, obviously, through that. But you don't get to select them anymore. And so a lot of people think that Diablo 3 is casualized because you can no longer sort of customize your character's attributes. So I don't buy that because, like, nobody really, I mean, to what degree can you really customize your character with attribute points? It's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go like all vitality build or something stupid, or all strength, or I don't know, like nobody really did anything creative with that. What can you do? Like, basically if you were a barbarian, you'd put like 3 points into strength, 2 points into vitality, or if you're, you know, a sorceress, you'd put like a whole bunch into energy and in vitality. Like, there wasn't really, like, I didn't feel like I was customizing my character doing that. Like, it just didn't, like, if like I said, I can understand sort of the skill tree argument that you don't feel like the customization is there in Diablo 3's current state, but the attribute bonus thing, like, I don't agree. I don't care that they do it automatically. You still have the attributes, but they just go up automatically. You can still customize through items, obviously, which I feel like is the most customization you've ever gotten from Diablo 2. Like, most of the customization from Diablo 2 didn't come from your skill build or anything like that. It came through your items. Like, you know, you look at a person, you're not going to be like, oh, dude, you know, what's your necro build? It's like, it's always the same thing. Like, he's going to have Bone Spirit maxed, and, like, that was it. Like, at least when I played, I don't know. I think they added synergies to Diablo 2 later, which made it slightly better, but, like, honestly, I felt like that kind of stuff came too late. So, that said about that, let's see what else can I talk about. Combat in Diablo 3 is basically the same as it is in Diablo 2. It's very satisfying. I can't really think of anything to critique. The dungeons and the stuff, I guess we'll have to see. Again, it's hard to say because there's only so much you can do in this beta. I'm in the catacombs now. It kind of has, you know, Diablo 2 was very sort of, at the maps was like a square and a kind of maze-ish structure to the maps. So you kind of just like open doors and go through narrow passages and hope that you're going the correct way. I feel like I'm getting lost a lot less in Diablo 3. Like, it feels a little bit more linear. It feels easier to navigate. the dungeons. Like I don't often reach a dead end. But that said, this is the first act, the first area, and right as I say that, I sort of reach a dead end here. But like, you know, the maps, as you can see, there's not like that many places that you can get lost in. But I'm guessing that this is really just, you know, the first act, and it's probably going to be more sort of challenging to navigate your way. The one thing I really don't like about Diablo 3 in comparison to Diablo 2 is the way the game sort of holds your hand in terms of questing. Like, let's face it, the quests in Diablo 2 were never like hard to figure out what to do. It was like, go kill Blood Raven, go over here to kill this. So there's never like that hard to do. Like, possibly like the most annoying stuff was like Act 2, building the Heraldric Staff and everything. But like in Diablo 3, I feel like the quest tells you what to do. I was doing the quest, and I realized at some point that I wasn't actually reading anything that people were saying because I didn't need to. Like, when you click on the waypoint and you have a quest, like an icon shows up at the waypoint of which waypoint to take to do the quest. And I mean, you know, this is Diablo. You don't have multiple quests at a time. You have one quest at a time. You know, this isn't World of Warcraft or whatever. So, like, what's the point of, you know, holding someone's hand? I mean, if you can't figure out where to go in Diablo 2, you're probably retarded. So I wish they would stop doing this, like, you know, like there's on the mini map there will be little arrows telling you like which door to go into and whatnot. Unless they specifically like want you to choose through 3 crypts and like figure out which one. There is a quest where there's 3 crypts and you have to figure out which is the right one, which is cool. Reminds me a lot of Diablo 2. Reminds me of Act 2, the last quest, Talrash's Tomb and whatnot. So that was cool. I don't know. I feel like the game is holding my hand a little bit too much in terms of like telling me where to go. I can't say Diablo 3 is linear because well, obviously, first of all, because the game's not fucking out yet and I'm playing the beta. But there's actually, in the first act, in the first beta, right here, there's actually a part where you have to sort of backtrack a little bit. Like, there's not, you know, the linear waypoint there was in Diablo 2. So, a lot of people say Diablo 3 is, like, linear. Like, right now in the beta, and just in the first area, it's not completely linear. You do have to go back to this previous waypoint and go to a place that you've basically already been, and then a door opens. Not a big deal, but you know, just for the people who think that it's completely way too linear, I would say it's not that bad, at least so far from what I've seen. Graphic-wise, I've never been a guy who really cared about graphics of the game very much. I don't care. For me, Diablo 3 looks okay. I think, you know, for the year that we're in, 2012, these graphics aren't anything amazing. Like, if you think Diablo 3 looks like the best game you've ever seen in your life, you should probably play some other games. But it doesn't bother me. I don't care. It looks pretty good. I can't wait to see the new acts, the new environments, which I'm sure will be very varied. The sound in Diablo 3 so far has been okay. Something has bothered me though with the ambience and the music. Like, there are times when like I can hear this electric guitar in the background, which sort of sounds like the Zerg theme from StarCraft. Like you know, when you're playing Zerg and you have the music in the background, like that's kind of what it sounds like. Like, that really bothers me for some reason. Like, it doesn't sound like Diablo. I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously it's kind of cool to hack through monsters and have like some like electric guitar in the background or something, but it kind of ruins my immersion into, like, you know, this sort of dark setting. I really like Diablo 2's music and the sounds in Diablo 2. It's very distinct. A lot of the sounds in Diablo 3 are actually Diablo 2 sounds, like the some of the fountain sounds, like the wells. I mean, the health, you know, the health thingamajigs, the shrines. That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't know if like I am butthurt that they copied the same sounds or that they just didn't make like new similar sounds. I don't know. Like I'm critical of the sounds. Like the music and the sound, they're not bad. They're just like kind of this other style that I can't really get used to quite yet. Here's a cutscene. You can see the guy stabbing King Lyric. Everybody's already seen this. I think I'm gonna go off to the side here. I've never gone off to the side here. I think I was gonna see us over here. What else can I talk about? The crafting system in this game so far. Another thing that's hard to talk about because we're only in like the very piss beginning of the game. But basically, what you can do is you can take items of blue quality, and you can salvage them for items, crafting materials, which you then can in turn use to craft stuff. Now, again, I don't know how well the crafting system develops when the game goes on, because I'm only in Act 1. But from what I've seen, it's, at least the beginning of it, is very sort of boring. Like, every item turns into something called subtle essence, basically, except these fallen tooths, which I haven't been able to use for anything. But it's like, okay, like everything you craft turns into a subtle essence. Yes, it's the beginning of the game. Yes, I'm sure there's more to crafting later in the game. Right now, though, like, I'm not seeing any of it, and it kind of bothers me, because in other games, like, you know, sure, I'm going to be comparing this to, like, an MMO, like Guild Wars 2 or something. I've played Guild Wars 2 before, and I don't think I can talk about the crafting system in Guild Wars 2, because I'm pretty sure I'm under NDA, but, it's better than this. It's a lot better than this. I really like the crafting system in Guild Wars 2. But I don't know. I'm sure there's information out there. You can Google Guild Wars 2 crafting system or something. But like, I guess I'm just bothered by how simple it is at this early stage. Because, you know, yeah, you're at the beginning of the game. Yeah, you don't want to have things too complex. But I feel like it's going into the, you know, the whole like, okay, you know, I feel like Blizzard is making the assumption that the player is like retarded. It's like, okay, we don't want to confuse the player. We're gonna have every item that's blue that you craft to be subtle essence, and then you just use only subtle essence and gold to craft stuff for the first like few moments of the game. So I hope it gets better. I'm sure it does. But I feel like even at like level 1, you could have like some different materials, like have 2 different kinds of like essences, like maybe like have weapons turn into one crafting material and have like armor into another, and you know, take it from there. I'm sure they'll do something with it, but like it's just so fucking basic. Like it's just like kiddie shit. It's like crafting subtle essences and then turning them into something. So, I hope they improve on that. Again, it's really hard to judge a game that only gives you like an hour of gameplay. Oop, lag. Another thing a lot of people whine about in Diablo 3 is the DRM, the always on DRM. So you basically have to have an internet connection, else you can't play it online. Yeah, it's annoying. Does it bother me? No, it doesn't bother me. It does suck for like when you want to like go on a trip and you only have a laptop and you want to play it like in a train or somewhere where you don't have internet. So I totally get that, but on the other hand, I can't blame Blizzard because, like, piracy. You know, everybody loves to get everything for free. God knows I love getting stuff for free, and I've done my fair share of piracy in the past. And if I can get a game, I'll get it for free. And if Blizzard can prevent me from getting their game for free, then I guess more power to them. Like, I think everybody here is being a homo economicus in the sense that they don't want to, you know, waste their time and whatnot. So I just hit level 10. What do I get? What do I get? Power hungry. Oh, I think that I got my passive now. So passives don't have runes, by the way, so you can't customize these, but there is quite a few of them, and you can have up to 3. So Blur decreases melee damage taken by 20%, and gain 30 arcane power when you are healed by a health globe. Both of these are pretty terrible. At least in my opinion. Like arcane power, it's not exactly like mana in the sense that you can't expand it really besides through items and stuff or talents. So you only have 100, but it regenerates really quickly, so it's not quite the same as mana. So I would actually probably go for blur. Like I don't know. I don't think the arcane power is going to help me as much when I'm in that situation by picking up globes. So I haven't really gone over the skills actually, but I don't have very many yet. So I would really look forward to having more skills. I guess what I understand with people complaining is it feels like there's not that many skills that you can have at once. There's a lot of potential. Like every skill has 5 different skills. So the customization, in my opinion, is there. But like I feel like with only 6 skills total active, I feel kind of like a little bit gimped. I kind of wish there was a bit more there. I don't know what they're going to do about that. Seems like they're pretty satisfied with it. So in the sense that there's only 6 buttons to press, and that makes the game casual, I definitely agree with that.
You will never defeat me!
I also don't think the voice acting in this game is really good. Like, some of the voice acting is cool. Maybe I'm just thrown off from that one blacksmith guy who was like, "You saved my life. I'm in your debt." It's so over the top, I couldn't take it seriously. I guess the rest is probably okay. But really, you can critique all you want about Diablo 3. The gameplay is really what makes it. And the gameplay is pretty much the same as Diablo 2 in the sense that it's baller as hell. And the items. Items are really what make Diablo 3 fun. Like, oh, hold on before I go on this boss. Frost Nova doesn't work on him, I'm pretty sure, so I'm going to use Diamond Skin. The items are really what make Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 good games, because there's so many of them, and the potential to customize your character, in my opinion, has always been in the items. So, in that sense, I'm really excited to see what sort of cool items and whatnot that Blizzard can come up with. I hope the crafting system is better. I also noticed there's no runes yet. Like, I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I think I really like the rune system in Diablo 2, the way you could, get small runes and save them and craft them and then make, socketed items. I haven't seen any socketed items. I haven't seen anything like that. So I don't know what the deal is. Like, I mean, I have not been looking into this very much. I've not been reading Diablo 3 news. So I assume all that stuff is, like, still coming. I hope to God they're not removing, like, runes and, Heraldric Cube crafting. I very much doubt it. Wouldn't make any sense. Because that was very fun. But like in Diablo 2, I mean, I guess it came with the expansion set, so I can't say it was there from the beginning. But once it was there in the expansion set, you would find runes in like Act 1 and stuff. At least I think you did. Maybe you had to wait for Act 2. I don't remember. As you can see here, the boss is not hard. He summons monsters with drop health globes, which you can pretty much kill easily. Like I said, the real challenge, if anything, in this game so far is just like certain boss monsters, which there's not many of. I mean, there's some, but like, they're rarely, that many monsters that it becomes problematic. In Diablo 3 and 2, shit really just hits the fan when you enter a room and like there's a million monsters and they're like extra fast with teleportation or something. So hopefully the difficulty will be ramped up. I'm sure it will. I've actually listened to some Q&A panels at BlizzCon, and they're talking about it, and they sounded really determined to make Diablo 3 challenging. If not in normal mode, then in Nightmare and Hell and Inferno or whatever. So I trust them to make the game difficult. And Hardcore, of course. You know, if you think the game is too easy, then by all means go into hardcore. I think I tried playing hardcore like once back when I played Diablo 2, but honestly, I'm probably too young because like my character would keep dying. So I wouldn't really do that. But another thing that people have been talking about, obviously, is the auction house, which I haven't really said anything about. But really, there's not much to say. You know, you can buy items with real money, and you can sell items for real money. I'd rather not have it in the game, but honestly, it doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't affect you. If you don't like it, you don't have to use it. So I don't see the problem. Yes, Blizzard's going to be making money out of the cuts, but, you know, again, it doesn't influence me. I don't see why anybody has to care about it. It's like, you know, there's no PvP in the game, so it's not like a character that has more items than you. Like, you know, it's like it's pay to win. It's like, dude, it's a PvE game. If you want pay to win in a PvE game, you can just not play the game and just pretend like you won the game. Like, I don't see the problem, because there's no, like, there's not going to be some guy who's going to be better than you. Like, in World of Warcraft, if you could buy items with real money, that would be terrible, because, you know, there's PvP, and, you know, it would be annoying if somebody was better than you just because he purchased items, but that's not really the case in Diablo 3. I don't know if they're going to add any PvP into the game, but if they do, obviously they'd have to, like, reevaluate their system. So, I don't really have a problem with the auction house. From what I've heard, actually, there's no cash in the there's no cash auction house inside the hardcore version of the game. So if you really don't want anything to do with the auction house and you think Diablo 3 is a casual, you know, bore fest, then like why don't you just go into hardcore mode and where nobody will have any of that stuff. So like I don't know, I don't get what the problem is. I'm excited that there is going to be an auction house, because I always felt like in Diablo 2, like I would have a really good item. Sometimes I'd find a really good item, and I wouldn't know what to do with it. Like I didn't like to go into trading servers with people and trade, because like I always felt like they're going to rip me off. So I feel like, you know, having the auction house is going to have like a status quo. You'll know what everything is worth. You won't get ripped off. Digger Odell. So I guess I'm thankful for that, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the game. I hope that the game will sort of present more of itself, more of the aspects that I hope to see. I'm sure it will, though. It's going to be so much more. I can't wait to see the environments, really. The environments, the bosses, the items, the crafting. It's, really what I'm looking forward to the most. And, of course, the spells that we can't really unlock yet, because can only hit the maximum level of whatever. So, I guess I'm done here. You've seen it here first, folks. If you haven't played the beta yet, go for it. Otherwise, you're not missing much. Like, it really only is this much gameplay. Honestly, if I were you, if you've never played Diablo 3 yet, then I would just wait for May 15th. It's not that much longer, and then you can enjoy the beginning of the game more than somebody who's like been in the beta for months and is like already beating this stuff over and over and over. I'm not going to be playing this over and over and over because it's just going to get frustrating, because I'm going to want to like be able to unlock. It feels like I'm playing the trial version of the game and I want the full version. So it's like I don't want to keep playing, because then it's going to feel worse until May 15th comes. So thank you for watching, and yeah. Schlongs.